Welcome to Toffee TV. It is live at 5:30 today due to some unforeseen circumstances. We are a bit late. But we're here now. And there you go. There you go. Events beyond our control, I would say.
Ned.
And Ned adding to those events beyond our control. Joined by Steve here, who was one of our patrons and a good lad. And we've had a good cop-out with the thumb down already. Imagine going on to a YouTube channel to give a thumbs down. At what level must your life not be great at to do that?
Grim, innit?
It must be mad, mustn't it? But anyway, fair play to them.
We've had a lot of different discussions today, haven't we?
We've had some
very strange
we've had some
discussions.
Some mad ones today, some good discussions.
We've had Ned as well.
And Ned. Chris Richardson says, "Hi lads, if Gerrard was to leave Rangers, do you think they could be interested in Big Dunk? Do you think he could be interested? And do you think it'd be a good move for him?"
Good shout. Very good shout. Obviously, ex-Rangers, wasn't he? But yeah, I think it's a big club, innit, Rangers? People forget, even though the league's a bit of a tin pot league, it's
they are
club-wise huge, them and Celtic, so it's good shout. I think Dunk should be looking at applying for those type of jobs, like your Rangers or even, I don't know, even like your Hearts and Hibs, maybe them type of clubs. Yeah, but
Rangers would be
massive for them.
Interesting one, that, wouldn't it?
Because I think they love to, they're like an iconic figure up there, don't they, as well? And
obviously being
ex-Rangers,
very much Walter Smith's man, wasn't he, as well? Yeah, it's a good shout. That is a good shout.
I hadn't even thought of that.
It's a good
Very good shout.
Should be maybe one. Yeah, maybe one.
You'd like to think he'll apply for it, maybe? You like to think?
Yeah,
so?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? You'd think so. Steve P96 says, "What are your thoughts on Mathew Norman? I think we should be all over him in the summer. Norwich have an option to buy for cheap, but can't see him wanting to play in the Championship."
I like him. He's a good player. He was good at Goodison as well.
He was good at Goodison.
Good at Goodison. He was good at the weekend for them. He seems a good player. And I spoke to Andy about him a few times. Andy really likes him as well. And I think he's
got a decent dig on him, like.
Yeah, and he's seems a good passer of the ball as well. And I think he wouldn't be the worst player to be looking to bring into your squad for next season, because that's what looking at it, we're going to obviously lose Fabian Delph, we're going to lose potentially another player, and also you might see the likes of your Tom Davises and your Andre Gomez is going out the door. So you'd be looking at him as a squad player, maybe, and a player who can come in and do a job for us, definitely.
Interesting one. Lawson just says, "Evening lads, I see Liverpool's director of football is leaving. He's everything we thought Brands would be. Will be a huge loss for them." Yeah. They've got his understudy, his number 2, is going to take over from him, isn't he? Because obviously it come out a while ago, didn't it? That he was going to move on, or it looked like he might move on. He was coming out of contract, but it will be a big blow because he's done a brilliant job at Liverpool, hasn't he?
But you'd probably think from their point of view, Dave knew this was going to happen. So I know they brought in Julian Ward, I think, his assistant. So you'd like to think they've like a contingency plan for them to train him up to be what Michael Edwards has been for them. And unfortunately, he has been a huge success for them. Obviously, the players he's brought into the club, some have worked, not all of them have worked, but the majority have been pretty good, to be fair. So hopefully the other bloke can do a terrible job.
Where do you think he's going to go?
There's been talk of Leipzig, hasn't there? I know. And the thing is, the press will jump on it and probably think he's going to go to Newcastle, which is probably not going to happen. But Leipzig would be a great opportunity for him, great club, and they do the way they kind of suit his model as well. Yeah. So it would. I know there's been talk of that, but he's been at Liverpool 10 years, hasn't he? Something like that. So he's done well for them. So.
Yeah, definitely. Harper's Holland just says, "Can't see Norwich utilising the option on Norman if they go down." I think about it, it should be a club record fee for them. I think their current record fee is 9 million for Naismith. Didn't he break that for Rashika?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Wasn't Rashika 15 million? But yeah, it depends whether they're going to do it, isn't it? Aaron Jones has went on Sunday, thought the atmosphere was much better, down to the players and the referee being an idiot.
Yeah.
The referee, I think Everton need, sometimes Goodison needs that, doesn't it? Needs the referee to be poor. And then from then, we kind of respond to it, don't we?
Yeah, if it's last 2 games we've had against Tottenham now at home, it's kind of been a bit of
with the crowd there,
with the crowd, and obviously
referee,
with the Gomez injury, and then obviously the VAR at the weekend, and obviously a lot of decisions going against us. And I do love Goodison when it's like that. It's like it's
the bear
got that
pit.
bit of, yeah, it's got that bit of nasty atmosphere. It's like the booing Son, and obviously all. Then the VAR went on the screen and the fans seeing it. It's like, oh. But it's good. Goodison was good on. But at the end of the day, I think it's good because the fans can see the players getting around the pitch, putting tackles in, charging down players. That's all you need for Everton players. Sometimes Moyes' teams are a perfect example for that. They weren't the most talented, but Tim Cahill taking someone out would get a bigger reaction to Stephen Pienaar doing an amazing flick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's true though, isn't it? Like, you look at derby games with like Cahill fucking grabbing Alonso and putting his head into the ground. Fans love all that. Everton fans like it, don't they? So just takes if the fans can see the players care, the fans will get into the other team then as well. So
Yeah, true. Rangers easy, okay, says no chance for big dunk for us. Boys don't want to speak about that rat. Gerrard today talked about loyalty and then he jumps ship.
It is funny though, because he did say a couple of weeks ago when he was linked to the Newcastle job that he was happy at Rangers and he didn't see himself going anywhere. So I can probably understand Rangers' point of view because they're top of the league, aren't they? And he's kind of transformed give them a bit of a belief as a club, haven't they?
Yeah, it's
a big name as well, isn't he?
I suppose for him, like Rangers, like you said, Rangers are a massive club.
Yeah.
They're just stuck in a league, unfortunately, for them that isn't big. There's
No.
only them. And I know, listen, other teams have a go and scrap and battle, but it's Rangers and Celtic, isn't it, every year, which way's which. So, if Rangers and Celtic were in a bigger league, or if they were in the Premier League or whatever, be huge clubs, because they are huge clubs around the globe.
Yeah.
So it's a big job. And their fans will be entitled to be thinking about Gerrard. Why are you getting off? But I guess for his perspective, like I said to you before, there's that phrase, isn't there, that the bus doesn't always come round twice, and he might be thinking, this is a big job at a club where I know Rangers is a big job, but this is the Premier League.
Yeah.
There's a big club with money. There in Aston Villa, it's a chance for me to cut my teeth. It's a chance for me to get on Liverpool's radar because I'm assuming that's his end game.
Yeah.
You never know.
Closer to home as well, isn't he?
Exactly. So maybe it's that, but when you're on the end of that as a fan, it's rubbish. Because if you're, for like Rangers fans, they've obviously seen them stop Celtic winning 10. The top of the league at the moment, they're doing well in Europe, they're building again. You're not interested about the Premier League.
No.
Nothing to do with you. You're thinking about you and enjoying that. And you'd never, when things are going well, you don't want your manager to go. And he seems like he gets Rangers and they get him. And the next minute, he's walking out. It must be.
It's a tough one, yeah, because they idolise him, don't they, as well?
I mean, just on that, what's his name again? Rangers easy, okay. Who do you think he should get? Because obviously it looks like he is going to Gerrard, so who do you think he should get? Daniel O'Connor says you can say Rangers and Celtic are stuck in their league, but they get an easy pass into European footy every year. I don't think they would want to change that, even if they could.
Well, they don't usually. They do have to qualify even if you win the league, but this year you don't. So if they win the league this year, you go automatically.
But they get in the Europa League without qualification, don't they?
Only if they don't get... No, you have to qualify again.
Oh, they still have... to get into the group stages, of course,
So this
year... I think the thing, though, Daniel, is they can't really do anything with that, though, can they? Do you know what I mean? It's because they get into Europe every year, but they're not making... Unless they get in the Champions League, they're not making loads of money, are they?
Yeah.
you'd have to go quite far in the Europa League. They're making money off it, of course. It's not Champions League level.
Gio van Bronckhorst is currently the favourite
Is he?
for the Rangers manager's job.
Interesting.
Followed by Gary McAllister, then Frank Lampard, and then Alex Neil and John
Alex
Terry.
Neil. See, I'd rather have Dunk than most of those, if I was them.
Van Bronckhorst, he's
decent.
been linked with Man City before, hasn't he?
He's good, so, and he's obviously ex-Rangers as well,
Yeah.
so be interesting. Make sure that you hit the like button, because obviously we've had bots in at the moment, or we just had an influx of Reds, I don't know. So make sure you hit the like button. Tommy Tucker says, don't get why people think Rangers are a huge club. If you look at how many Twitter, Instagram, social media followers they have, they're an average size following around the world. I don't know. I think Rangers are well known everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I listen, to be honest with you, Tommy, that's just like kind of like my impression of it. I might be wrong, but to me, people know Glasgow Rangers everywhere. I haven't looked at the numbers, so you might be way ahead of me on that. But in my opinion, they're a big club. Just that maybe that league stops them being, bigger than maybe what they could be. I don't know, but Rangers Easy says Van Bronckhorst for me, it's a ridiculous thing leaving us mid-season and has tarnished his reputation for us. He wins the league and gets in the Champions League. What's he going to win with Villa?
That's a good point, Mike.
Realistically, the Europa League is the ceiling of Villa, which he does have with us.
Yeah, I get that. I get that point of view. Yeah,
it's a good point of view. It's difficult to argue with. Gary Ward says, Hardy, any updates on Ped? I think he's all right. He's moaning at Ned, so he must be all right. Stuart Thompson says, the cricket looks close.
It's England v New Zealand, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, semi-final, I think.
I've
just seen it then on Sky.
Less interest in that than international footy, which I've got no interest in. So, Chris says, hi guys, I thought you were spot on your video earlier about Rafa. Personally, I think he's the right man for the job. Okay. Lee Ties Dar says, really disappointed to see a few Everton fans in the park and giving abuse to Spurs fans. They got kicked out and hopefully banned for life. Yeah, I've seen a bit of this bouncing around.
I told you about it.
Yeah, and a few other people have messaged me. It's not good, is it? This... But in 2021, just get on with life and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Kane says, what's the plan? Then when Everton are in Florida next July. To get there, watch them, Kane. Watch us defend the Florida Cup.
Oh, yeah.
And have a couple of sherbets.
Kane's obviously going to Florida, isn't he?
Kane's going.
In June.
So I'll meet you up. I'll meet you there, Kane. Stuart Thompson says, Steve Scotland doesn't have...
Steve Scotland?
No, like Steve. It says, look.
Steve Scotland.
Scotland doesn't have Tin Pot League, lads. I dare say if Celtic played us at the moment, we'd struggle to win. Don't buy into that overused and quite truthfully lazy narrative. That being said, nice to see you well, lad.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because a lot of people look at that league and think it's the same two winners for the last, 30 years?
Forever.
And it's hard. I know people say that about Germany, but I don't know. I just personally think it's a very, very average league with two okay teams in it. And the teams even in it aren't, you see them in Europe, they struggle in Europe against...
Rangers have done all right, though.
Rangers have done all right, yeah. And Celtic, I think they're in the group stages. Yeah. I think they're going to get through the group stages. So I always think it would be a good... I always mentioned to Ped a few times. And I wouldn't have any problem bringing them in for the League Cup, Rangers and Celtic.
Into the Carabao?
Yeah. I think it'd be good for the tournament.
Give it something different.
Yeah. Make it like a British Cup rather than a League Cup. Something like that. And you could add even a few other teams. But it's working around. You'd have to work around that. But I don't know. I'm not going to be one of them who would be ever against them ever coming down here. I think it would be good for the league.
You'd have to come down and start at the bottom, though, wouldn't he?
Well, Rangers went to the bottom, didn't they, a couple of years ago?
Yeah, no, I'm saying you couldn't put them in the Premier League.
No, you couldn't.
And then why should they get in in League Two over someone out the nationwide, you know, the National League, the conference.
Yeah.
I know you'd say, well, they're a big club, you know, the big clubs, so put them in, but it's
a hard one, yeah. But
it's a difficult one.
That's why maybe the League Cup would be a good start, maybe, to see how it went.
It's even, did they want to be in our league? You know, they might want to be for the money, but did they really? They're in their own country.
You see how they travel, though, to all these games, the friendlies and that,
would you want to go and start Everton playing in Scotland?
They win something.
Might be all right, yeah. I just mean, you know,
No,
it's
just weird that you got Welsh teams in it, though, innit?
They've always been in it.
No,
But, it is weird,
yeah.
but they've always been in, haven't they? Because their league wasn't strong. Where Scotland always had a strong league, didn't he? Keith says, hey lads, all okay? How's Ped doing? Getting better, I hope. All right, Steve, you on duty today. Loyalty, impressive, mate. Your input is invaluable in times of crisis. Thanks from fellow patrons.
Cheers, mate.
There you go. Sol says, if Everton couldn't walk out to Z Cars, which song would you pick? I always used to like the Fulham Walkout, London Calling by The Clash. Something connected to the city. What would you choose if it wasn't Z Cars?
Welcome to the Jungle.
Would you?
Something
Something mad.
Something mental. Something which might, I don't know.
It's
hard one, I think. It's always been Z Cars, isn't it? It's always like... Do you remember that time under
Johnson, wasn't it?
Was it Walter Smith's first game with the bagpipes?
Yeah, but
remember that?
Ben Johnson had it, yeah. But he had I'm blue after the goals and all that, didn't he? I'm blue, and all that, which was
didn't score many goals, did he?
Absolutely terrible. And he wanted bagpipes, he wanted
the bagpipes of Smith's first game.
Cars away, and come out to some madness and all that. Keith says Glasgow Celtic have massive support in New York City. Clubs and pubs dedicated to their support. Irish Catholic, obviously, 1.7 million Irish in the city.
Yeah, massive Celtic.
You know, he's all over the place. Tommy says 650,000 Twitter, 550,000 Instagram, Facebook 800,000. Can't be asked to check how many we have, but I know we have 4 times that. Yeah, I mean, our Twitter followers are like 2 million or something, aren't they? But, I don't know. Chris says bringing Scottish teams into the League Cup could be a good idea.
Yeah.
Stephen Caldy says we were doing well before the injury, so keep calm, we'll pick up a game. Yeah, we were doing well before the injuries, and if we get our players back, we'll be sound.
Like Baz has said many times, if you take the best players out of all these other teams, they'd struggle. Declan Rice out of West Ham, Antonio, Zuma, the goalkeeper, they'd all struggle. People forget, like, we've nearly had, I'd probably say we're close to having, again, nearly every outfield player being injured. Again.
We've only had, so far, the season's 11 games old.
Yeah.
And we've only had Allen, Gray and Townsend, the only 3 available for every game. Every other player in our squad
Keane as well.
hasn't been. No, Michael Keane missed the game, didn't he?
I always feel like he plays.
He didn't. Which game didn't he play in? Sure, he missed 1 game.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
But it's just weird. It's just like...
But in general, we've all been injured.
Even our goalie. And if you look across the league, nobody's goalie ever gets bloody injured.
No. And our keepers missed it. So it's all the same. It's like Spurs take Son and Kane out of that side.
Yeah.
Who's getting the goals for them? Nobody. They're finishing bottom half.
No.
Arsenal lose 4 of their best players. They're bottom half. Villa are already bottom half. Leeds are bottom half. West Ham lose 4 of their players. They're bottom half. So
but you look at Leeds, though, they've lost Bamford, they lost Phillips, and look where they are in the league.
And yet they've had them, like Phillips played at the weekend.
Yeah.
They've had them in the squad.
Yeah.
They lost them for the odd game. Rafinha missed 1 game. I think Bamford missed a couple down the bottom. But with Everton,
we're missing a spine.
With Everton, it's almost like we're not good enough.
No.
We're terrible with this, that, and the other. But it's like, I agree, the squad should be better, but look at the players we've got out. Yeah. Other teams, it's just brushed over. Almost by our fans.
Well, last season it was the whole with Liverpool.
With Liverpool, that was the reason.
That was the reason. Yeah.
And yet with us, even though we're the only club last season to have every single squad player missing for more than 2 games, I think it was.
And even our squad players are getting injured.
Everyone.
Not just our first team, our squad players. You look at Andre Gomez, Fabian Delph, they've all been injured this season. Tom Davis, I think, missed the game. Like,
It is mad. It's mad. Lee Riding says all together now if Z cars didn't exist.
Good show,
yeah. Yeah. A dodgy pigeon says, where's Pet? Not well, mate. Not well.
The love for Ped, isn't it?
He says, wasn't he jabbed? Yeah, he's been double jabbed, but still get it. In fact, he said he's delighted he's double jabbed, because if he'd have got this without the jab, where he's got it, he'd be honest, wiped out totally. Crinton says on Insta, we have 2.4 million, on Twitter 2.6 million. But don't think a bigger social media necessarily means a bigger club. Jordan Parr says, what's your ideal biscuit for a cuppa?
Ooh.
It depends what you're looking for. You're looking for, like, what can take the dunk better? You know, shortbread.
Like rich teas, you just got to go.
Rich tea. I don't mind a rich tea, but it's like, they're just in and out, aren't they?
You have to be.
They're just in and out. Digestives.
Chalky digestives are good.
They're a belter with a cup of tea.
Don't mind the jammy dodgy, you know.
They're all right, yeah. They've come back, they're all right. Basic, but all right. They just come in and do a job.
Shortbread's good.
Shortbread's a belter. Shortbread, they drink some of your tea as well, of course.
Yeah.
But they're all right. They're not like, you want them in a battle, shortbread, don't you? You don't want a rich tea.
No.
Rich tea, you're going. Ginger nuts are a race against time. They're nice. The ginger infused with the tea gives that kick, that unite. But you're playing with fire. Really.
I reckon chocolate digestive.
Chalky D's.
Don't mind the custard cream, you know.
Or a shot.
Do you not like custard creams, eh?
Again, sick when I was a kid with them, so I can't touch them. They're not at the level
not
of
at the level of orange
them
club,
other things, which, again, goosebumps when you say it. But they're up there, yeah. Stuart Thompson says, true, is about the same two winners. How many have won the Premier League in the last 15 years? If you remove the Leicester fluke and COVID FC. Man United have won it.
Chelsea
have won it. Have Arsenal? Arsenal have won it since 2005.
There's City.
United. Chelsea.
Chelsea are the most successful Premier League team in the last 20 years, you know.
Are they? They've won. They win trophies every year, don't they?
Just them three, innit?
Yeah.
Chelsea, City and...
Well, I mean, as much as we can call them COVID FC or
Leicester
whatever,
was a great achievement as well.
Leicester, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Manchester United.
5, yeah.
I've won it. 5 in the last 15 years, so... Keith says, Z Cars is embedded in my brain since I was a kid, and that was a long time ago. Can't think of any other theme tune, to be honest. Either. Still gives me goosebumps. Does it do the same for you, or is it my age that makes me a soft ass? No, to me, it wouldn't seem right, Everton not coming out to Z Cars.
Still gives me goosebumps.
I think with the siren and then Z Cars, I think it works perfectly.
Yeah.
There you go. Keith Powell says, if I was managing United, I'd go after Phillips and Rice.
Yeah, Ped said that a couple of weeks
ago. We've got those two in midfield because Declan Rice is all action. Calvin Phillips is as well, but I think his passing range is really good as well.
I think he'd be more suited to Man City, Phillips.
Do you?
Yeah. Than Man United. I think Rice is perfect for what United need. But
as a two, though.
If you got both of them. Yeah, they'd have to talk.
Could they play together in Europe? I know they do for England. Could they do for United? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think Phillips would be more suited to City.
Fair play. Keith Powell says ginger nuts on order from the British Corner shop again in my Christmas list. Got to love it, though. It's right, Keith, lad. It's right. Where are we here? Steve P says, what about Bittersweet Symphony? Has Everton coming on now? Would it get you up and going?
Nah.
Shrika went Twix for the win.
Twixes are good, like. If they bite round the edges, not the...
Decent Twix. Liam Monroe says, bite both ends of a chocolate finger, put it in your cup, suck a straw. Suck it like a straw. We've done it with the Tim Tams.
Yeah.
With the Tim Tam challenge.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. Daniel O'Connor went for choc hobnobs every day of the week.
Don't mind hobnobs, they're all right.
Yeah, they're all right, yeah.
I like biscuits, mate, honestly.
Yeah. Emmy 1G says, are you planning a Bramley Moor doc update video? And has put Ned. I don't know why. I mean, I can't think why they would have asked Ned about it.
You said it before.
Should have literally been out about 6 weeks ago. It'll be out at some stage. Yes, we are. They're going to be regular updates when we get round to doing it, which needs to be soon. Tommy Tucker says, what's your thoughts on Dom's outfit? He has put an outfit on for a photo shoot. He can wear whatever he wants. I don't care. I honestly, it doesn't bother me. I just want to fit.
Comes back, score goals.
That's what he can do whatever he wants. He can wear that every week. He can wear it to the game if so be it, as long as he gets himself fit and scores goals.
Yeah.
Jason Smart says, who's your most disliked pundit? Stephen Warnock for me talks total rubbish. I've paraphrased. Danny Murphy is embarrassing. Fella's embarrassing.
Owen and Murphy.
Owen's poor. Owen is like really bad.
You know who I like? Owen Hargreaves.
Yeah, he's decent.
I like Owen Hargreaves.
He's decent.
Talks a lot of sense.
He's decent.
And he's got no, even though he's at Man United, he's got no affiliation to any other clubs. Really. He's only at United for 2 years.
United and City, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, and he was more Munich, isn't he?
That's what you think of him as. Yeah.
And so he's got no affiliation, which I like sometimes. Yeah. A lot of these other ones seem...
They're too embedded in the
so
club.
you listen to Neville, and I like Gary Neville, but you listen to him over the whole Ollie situation, and he's on his own in the corner.
But they shouldn't... You see, I like Carragher, but he should never be allowed to comment on Liverpool, ever. Because I think on everyone else he's good. I think the same with Gary Neville. Yeah. I don't think he should be anywhere near Manchester United games.
See, I think he's been good until this Ollie situation with United. But I think he's been quite critical of the players. Yeah. But the Ollie's too close, isn't he?
I just think it's your club, so, go on other stuff and talk about it by all means. But I just think I don't like that. And Sky seem to have just accepted that's what they want it to be, like their coverage now. They kind of want it to be, we can have these people who are biased towards the club. I think it detracts from it. I think when I watch, and to be honest, I don't listen to any of them anymore, but when I used to watch it, you're looking for a generalised view of everything. And yet, you put like games on and they're just talking about teams that aren't even playing, which is a start. And then the views are so like blinkered on. It's like, if I want a fan's opinion, I'll watch fan TV. Yeah. I'll get a fan from someone else of those clubs because they know it better than these players do, because they live and breathe it. These ex-players, it's their club, but they're doing other stuff where fans feel it. So if I want a fan's view on it, I'll speak to a fan of those clubs. Yeah. They're there to be a little bit more professional and a little bit more objective, and Carragher isn't objective about Liverpool. Neville's not objective about Man United.
I'm sure Aston Villa will become his new team now, Carragher.
Well, his mate's there, so he'll have an eye on them, won't he? And they'll be lauding everything they do now, even if they're not really doing anything special.
Definitely.
Because that'll be the narrative to go with. But for me, I don't like that. I like an independent
I do as well. That's why I like Hargreaves, I think.
Yeah. And he's quite good.
Yeah.
You've got it on BT now with Ferdinand, with United, and jumping up and down and punching the air and all that. It's like, Man United fans might like seeing that, but I'm an Evertonian. If I'm watching a game that United are playing in Europe, I don't really want to see...
Scholes is funny.
Scholes the other week.
He scored in the last minute.
Scholes I don't think Scholes is impressed by anything.
No.
He played like that, didn't he? He's just is what he is, but I don't know. I mean, some people might really like it and think that's brilliant. It's not kind of what I like.
Yeah.
I like to see it. I don't understand why they have them on, to be honest.
I'm like you. I like listening to Carragher and Neville when they do the Monday night stuff on other teams.
Yeah.
I think they're really good. It's good insight, and it gives you a good insight of what's going on. So, but I agree with you. I don't think they should be doing Liverpool or Man United games.
I'd have journalists on instead of ex-players.
The BT Sports.
Yeah, they're one that James Richardson does, like the Euro goals one. It's with the journalists. That's a million times better than any kind of show with pundits on.
Yeah.
Because they can't be objective.
Yeah,
because everything's got an angle, haven't he? So, okay, where are we? Lee Reynolds says, yeah, couldn't agree more, Baz, that's why I stream all the games. Yeah, mate, it's all nonsense. A lot of them just talk rubbish, and you can tell it's almost like they've been told what to say in this one. This is the narrative we're all
using.
using.
Reaction, don't they? Clickbait and all that as well.
Today, so. And it's just, I couldn't be interested in it. Steve P says, find it a bit mad how we consist with this 4-4-1-1 when we don't even have a natural number 10 in the squad. Do you think we'll sign one? I know it's unrealistic now, but would love Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher's someone me and Steve mentioned lots of times. He would be someone I'd be going after in the summer, or certainly asking Chelsea how much they want for him. He was good at West Brom. He's doing well at Palace.
Seems a bit more of a number 8, doesn't he, than a 10?
Yeah, he's an 8. He's not a 10 for me.
Yeah.
He's a box-to-box midfield play. Very busy, likes to tackle, scores goals.
I think he's probably something, when you look at him, you think, well, that's what we were hoping from Tom.
Yeah.
What Gallagher's
doing.
Yeah.
And
it hasn't really turned out that way, unfortunately. But he's a good player, and he likes getting stuck in as well. He does, yeah. For a little lad as well, he's not scared to
he's
upset a few people. Unfortunately, I do think Tuchel might be wanting him in his squad next season.
Maybe. So, that's the whole reason he's gone on loan, isn't it?
Yeah, that's his second loan spot, because he was at Swansea, wasn't he, for a bit as well?
Swansea for a bit, West Brom,
third
and Palace. So.
But Chelsea are good at doing that. Making money on players.
Well, exactly. Dennis Quaalude has asked what I think of Simon Jordan. I like listening to Jordan on some stuff. And I think a lot of what he says is good, and I think he's got a good eye for stuff. He ran a football club, didn't do a great job with it, by the way, but he ran a football club. But I also think he's fallen into that thing that they do at TalkSport, which is sensationalise a lot of stuff. They know what they're saying because they're told to do it, and they're very good at it. Durham on that station is brilliant at it, inciting people, because it gets people to phone up.
Yeah.
He's Adrian Durham doesn't believe half the stuff he says, and Goff, but they say it because it'll spark a reaction, because that's the name of the game for them. The name of the game is to get those phone lines buzzing. It's where the money is, and the advertising and all that. And I think Simon Jordan has fallen into a little bit of the clickbaity stuff.
He works with, look who he works with as well.
Yeah.
He's them, like, I've watched it a few times with them, and you see Jim White's eyes light up when Jordan says something controversial. Yeah. And Jim White's thinking,
well, that's it, isn't
the story for it. Like the whole Amanda Staveley thing, when he commented about that, and he got into a row with her on TalkSport and that as well. It was like, Jim White's like, oh no, we'll keep you on for an extra 5 minutes.
Yeah, because they want it, but they know, don't they? Yeah. They know it. Stephen Lease says, I agree, Baz, I hate it for argument's sake. If it's Everton, etc. playing, they talk about another club and talk about our game for 5 minutes. Does my head in. Yeah, even with the thing, it's just, Chris Wilson says, I remember Gary Neville's comments after Everton beat Man United 4-0. He said, I mean, no disrespect to Everton, but Man United just lost 4-0 to Everton. Lol, no disrespect at all, Gary. And that's the thing, is that it's when I was on the overlap with them the other week, there was you could see with, like, not necessarily, well, yeah, you could see that it's almost like they buy into everything they were moaning about with the Super League.
Yeah.
Like Gary Neville, I think he's great. His political views are good and all of that. But they buy into all the things they didn't like.
Yeah.
They said they didn't like about the Super League, and yet they literally kind of like encourage it. So when they were talking about, like, clubs, they're talking about Man United, and it's like a disbelief that they're not, like, they can't win the league or whatever. And, like, it's almost like, well, they've got to win the league because they're Man United. And you're like, I know, but it's a sport, so anyone can do it. No one's got a God-given right. And it was the same thing with, like, Newcastle, with the takeover, and Paul Scholes is saying to me, yeah, but if Newcastle come for Rafa Benitez, he's going to go. We're like, well, why? because they've got all that money. And I was like, I know, but they can't spend it.
Yeah.
And he go, I know, but they've got all that money. I'm saying, no, I know, but they can't spend it because of FFP. And he was just like, what? You know, like, as if, like, they just didn't understand it. And there's those things of, like, the narratives that they follow are Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea are all more important than any other club. And therefore, they should be allowed to have all the players. They should be winning all the trophies. And nothing else matters. They don't even put respect on Man City.
No, they don't.
And Man City have been amazing. I've won 4 out the last 5 Premier League titles. And they get talked about like, oh yeah, they're a great side, like, but, you know, Man United and Liverpool. And you're like...
Well, to me, after the game on Saturday, the talk should have been how good Man City were. But it wasn't.
And I bet you it was how poor United.
It was all about Ollie. And Man City just basically got Man United down to 1 shot on target at Old Trafford.
Yeah, mad, innit?
And outplayed them for the whole game.
Yeah. Chris says, see, I'm exactly the same in things like Monday Night Football on other teams. Neville and Carragher are top pundits, but when they're talking about their respective clubs, they talk waffle. Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. Lee Reynolds says, with FFP, we can't sign anyone in the summer as well as only 13 million comes off the 3-year list, which has cost us. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Everton will sell players as well this summer. So,
lot going off the wage bill.
Jason says Everton will fall further behind over the next few years due to bad running of the club. Teams like West Ham are going past Everton now.
At the moment, they're ahead of us. Fair play to them. Well, West
Ham, who spent nearly 400 million.
Yeah, exactly. People go on about all this money we've spent. We've also sold a lot of assets as well. Like, you look at everyone that goes, oh, but Everton have spent 500 million, but they haven't really, because they've sold.
Yeah, I think the net spend's like 200 and something million.
Which
I don't buy into net spend, by the way.
No.
But West Ham, Villa have spent 300 odd million in the last couple of years. West Ham have spent 400 or 397, whatever it was. So teams do spend money. You know, and everyone goes on about how much Everton have spent in that period. Liverpool have spent 400 odd million in that same period, and we're already ahead of us. United spent, what, 180 million just this summer alone. So we have spent money, don't get me wrong, but everyone else has spent money as well.
And let's be honest, with West Ham 18 months ago, David Moyes was brought in to keep them up.
Yeah.
They were struggling. Their fans, you think our fans are toxic sometimes. Their fans wanted everyone out their club.
Yeah.
Now, you've noticed the whole Gold and Sullivan thing's gone quiet because they're doing well.
Because they're doing all right.
Because they've got a fair play, they've got a good manager.
Football fans are fickle.
Yeah.
You see, I don't buy into the thing of like, I heard all this in the summer. Villa have left us behind now, the world's apart from us now and all that. The team who are 2 points above the relegation zone. You know, West Ham are worlds, like, have gone above us now and all. They're above us now because they've had no injuries and they're playing really well and they've got a good manager. I wouldn't say they're like leaving us behind.
No.
Their fans, I've done the overlap in August with Nicky from West Ham Fan TV. And we were having a conversation and they hadn't signed anyone. It was a couple of weeks before. And he was like, I don't think we'll get top 10 this season. He went, yous will be well above us this year. He said, you've got a better side anyway. And I was like, and he was like, no, I do it. He said, we had a great season. He said, but we've got Europe. He said, we haven't strengthened the squad. You know, we get an injury. He said, I think you should be pushing for the Europa League. He meant we'll be top 10 if we're lucky. And then he signed a couple of players, got Zuma in and a couple of others, and they've had no injuries, and it's great. And that's brilliant. Moyes was great with us doing it. But because we didn't spend any money this summer, we've just had players decimated with injury. If Everton wouldn't have had any injuries and would have had the Corey, Mina, Dom, Richarlison available for all the games, I think we'd be where West Ham are. I really do. We've played a lot of games without those important players. But I'm not having to go West Ham. West Ham been great.
Yeah, they have.
And Moyes is brilliant. He's done a great job. But I
wouldn't say we're light years away.
I just don't think you can really look at it so linear. It is what it is. What I would say about West Ham with Everton is that they've got their players to come in at a higher level than what ours are. Yeah. I think 1 to 11, Everton have got a good side, and I think it's comparable, if not better than West Ham. Maybe. But underneath all the squad, their players who come in are better than what we bring in.
Yeah.
So overall, their squad is better.
Yeah.
And they're doing well, and Moyes is doing brilliantly. And that's great. I just think with us, we've been a little bit unlucky with injuries. But it's our fault that we haven't got better players coming in. We have, like someone said, we have been run poorly. So with the money we've spent, we should have better substitutes than we've got and better options. And that's where Everton have let themselves down. And now what we've got to do is try and claw back some of that money for FFP and start investing better. Like Townsend and Gray are great investments at 1.67 million.
Yeah.
Aren't they? They're great at that level. So can we make good investments at 5 million and 10 million and 15 rather than just going 30 million, 40 million on players who you get nothing out of?
Yeah. Well, the manager said that, didn't he, the other week in an interview he did, I think. He said, we've got to get better at spending the money properly. He said that in an interview, and he's right. And as much as some people might not like the bloke, he's a sensible bloke, like, and he knows what he's doing, I think. And I think, I've said this a few times, this season might be a bit of a rough ride, potentially, but I think then the season after, I think we might see hopefully, with a bit more investment, a few more players off the books who we don't fancy, and he brings in the players he wants, I suppose, with brands. I think we might see a different Everton next season, and hopefully the whole. I know he's brought in his own fitness guy as well now. Let's see how that goes, and let's see if that works as well towards some of the players we've got who are always on the treatment table.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it?
Can't keep chopping and changing all the time. It's boring now as a fan, and you just got to give this bloke a bit of time to get the mess sorted, I suppose.
I think we've just got to let the noise die down around it. Just let him get on with it.
Yeah.
If we keep changing, we'd have to pay another big pile of money out to him and his coaching staff to go. But there's another FFP wrecked again, so we can't bring anyone in. And what manager are you putting in with this set of players with no chance of improving it because you keep chopping everything? We just need
stability,
whether people like him or not. And I'm not a big, massive lover of him either. Just let it play out for a bit. Let us get some stability. See what he can do while addressing the FFP issues. Yeah. And then we'll know then better where we are. Matt Syme says Jim Beglin is the worst. He's not great, is he?
Doesn't he sit by you?
Sits by me. He's very complimentary about Everton off camera. Then I hear him. He done our game against Wolves, I think it was, and he was just terrible. Was it? No, it wasn't Wolves because that was Townsend. He done one of our games, I can't remember which one, and he was so bad, and it was like, you're talking nonsense. It might have been United actually away. He was just chatting wham. Like, and his brother's an Evertonian.
Is he?
Yeah. Keith Powell says 100% right, Baz. Danny Murphy is complete bally. Also Chris Sutton's dreadful. Both very, very arrogant and talk nonsense, I'll say, Keith. Stuart says, I honestly don't feel there is constantly 6 teams in England bigger than Rangers and Celtic. Don't even start me on the Gits last year. I would have given Rangers like punishment for their obvious disrespect. After leaving Rangers for Villa, they are no longer a big club. Oh, Villa or? Okay.
Is he saying Rangers are a bigger club than Villa?
Maybe. I don't know. Dean Hennessy says, all right, lads. Grayley says, so then dunk to Rangers. Well, apparently it's Gio van Bronckhorst.
He's the favourite, yeah.
He's the favourite, so. Anthony Lowndes says, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I hear Newcastle got him in the new year. Mike says, all right, lads, players back from injury, a couple of decent loans in January, and I think we'll be comfortable. Top 10 pushing for the Europa League if we can get a good run. Yeah, got to just hang on in there now while we've got these injuries and then see what we can do. He says, also remembering we finished 10th last year with a 12 million a year manager and a bigger wage bill than we have now.
Spot on.
Yeah, well, we got money back from that, haven't we? And we've got obviously players going out, so it's improving all the time. Dan says, what makes you think stability will come? Because why won't it if you keep someone in place?
I think the club might have realised that they need a bit of stability now as well. I think they were hoping that with Ancelotti, but obviously he had his own way of doing things. So I think with this manager, I think they realised that he's in it for the long run. he's obviously local to the club as well, and he puts in a lot of hard work by all accounts as well. And I think the club, you'd like to think the club are going to try and make this a stable time, because the amount of mistakes that we've made as a club in the last 5 years, you'd like to think that they realise they need that stability, really, mate. I don't know what you think, but yeah.
Shrikar says, when is basic trig going to graduate to advanced trig? Yeah, he should be there now, really, to be fair. Dan says, I believe Ancelotti and Rafa are too big for us. Okay.
Just remember, Rafa Benitez was managing Newcastle.
Yeah,
they aren't a big club.
Exactly.
They aren't a very big club.
John Calder says, just can't take to Rafa, can't listen to him talk, but I think it's been like that since Moyes.
Fair enough.
So that's more of an Everton thing than the Rafa Benitez thing, isn't it? Would a team be called the Invincibles if they drew every game in a season and went down with 38 points? So no losses?
Nah, you can't be.
Can't be called that, can
Nah, but saying that,
it's an interesting, it's an interesting.
Arsenal drew 11 games, didn't he?
It's an interesting.
Yeah,
when he was in, didn't lose though.
No, they didn't. I'm just saying.
So would they be called the Invincibles?
No.
Can't be, can you, if you go down?
Go down.
Dan says we need a run-of-the-mill manager to manage the run-of-the-mill players. Nah, I disagree, Dan. Sorry, I totally disagree on that.
No.
James says, do you think the stadium will stand up okay on those 2,500 concrete posts that are currently being pile-driven right now? I imagine so, Jim. Yeah. Baz, how good do you think Gordon will be at the same age? Better than what Dom was at his age, just need a goal to push on. I think he's going to be quality. Yeah, he's a different player than Dom, isn't he? Dom is a centre-forward who is a target man. I know he played wing-back, which was incredible. He played left side, but he wasn't someone... He hasn't got, like, natural dribbling ability, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, has he? No. He's a goal scorer, he's great in the air, strong and he's quick. Anthony Gordon, I think, is a natural. He's good with the ball at his feet, and he's got that direct running. He does need a goal. I think a goal goes and puts him up another 5%.
Yeah.
I think he's really improved under Rafa Benitez this season.
I get the impression Rafa trusts him a lot.
I think he's a hard worker. He's listening. Yeah. Obviously, Ancelotti didn't believe in him. Sent him out. So hopefully, he looks good. They're the players he wants. He's been highly rated, and then he kind of hits a little bit of a bobbly bit, which they do because the kids, and it's a tough league.
Yeah.
Went away and he said himself his loan didn't really work, but he learnt about not being in the team, and he learnt about training every day and values, and he's doing brilliantly at the moment. So hopefully he'll continue, because if he gets better and better, he becomes a really important part of our team. That's what you want. Someone out the academy becomes an important part in your team. Do
you prefer him inside, or because I think he looks really dangerous inside when he's. Or do you not think he's got the?
I don't know. I just at the moment I just think he's doing well wherever he's been asked to play. What I like about him is his ability to drive forward with the ball. And I actually thought when he went off against Watford, we lost that. No one else did it. And I know he went off from the Charleston, come on and scored immediately.
Yeah, I know.
But I think we the benefits of more from him staying on and driving at them. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there was maybe other players he could have took off in that situation.
He's quick, isn't he? Quicker than
he's quick. He's tall, isn't he? Covers the ground well. If he gets a bit stronger, which he's working on, then he won't be shoved off the ball. So when you've got someone who's quick and direct and they're strong, defenders hate it. He hates it, and he's good. He comes back inside. Just needs a goal. I think a goal gives him that confidence. And then we want more off him then. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I think Rafa will know the time as well, when to take him out the team and bring him in the team. I don't these probably is going to go through little stages of the season, isn't he, where he has his down moments. But I think we've seen in the last couple of weeks when Benitez was saying he wasn't ready to finish a game.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think hopefully he's a blue, innit? So you want to see him do well.
Yeah, defo. Dan says Dom getting better and better. Who cares what the lad wears? He can play in those wide shorts if it works. Yeah, doesn't matter. Anthony Loud says, I hope Anthony G gets that goal very soon. Definitely, Mr. Blue Sky says, I think a centre-back in Jan is more important than a right-back. After Mina, they are terrible. Okay.
Godfrey was good.
They were good on Sunday.
Yeah.
GM says, great video, lads. Yeah, can't wait to see our best boys back on match days. Absolutely. Jason says, as an Everton fan, I still myself see Everton as a big club, but slowly I'm having my reservations with other clubs being over the last 15 years. We are just in the Premier League to make up the numbers. Well, fair enough, but what, even if we are right now, what's the alternative? So what, go in the Championship and be big? You play in the division you're in. So if Everton are just in the Premier League and that's it, then that's it, isn't it? I want us to win the league.
Yeah.
I want us to be a team that can do that. And I think you can. You can do it if you run correctly. Are we being run correctly? No. I don't believe so at the moment, but I haven't got all the facts, so I don't know. But evidence shows me we're not. But I think if we can get that sorted, then why can't we do better than what we're doing? Bobby C says, which Everton players you honestly think a Big Six club would want? Who are the Big Six? Tell me who the Big Six are, and then we can have the discussion.
Yeah, I don't even know who they are.
There's no Big Six. It's nonsense.
Big Four.
There's Chelsea, Liverpool, United, and City. Yeah. After that, everyone's much of a muchness. Mm-hmm. So, who would Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United want out of our team? Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think all four of them at once. I'm not saying he walks into all four of the team, but I think they'd want him in the squad. I think Richarlison would be in all of those squads.
Maybe Pickford.
I don't know.
He better than De Gea?
Pickford. Is he better than De Gea? But they probably got Henderson, who may be better than... Mind you, he was crap.
No, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Pickford. That's only one team, though, isn't
it?
Yeah. Luca Dean. Is he good enough?
Chilwell, Robertson.
Maybe not.
Maybe City?
No, Cancelo plays there. Cancelo was there. The Core, I think, gets in all of those four squads. I'm not saying he gets in the team, but he gets in the squad. Midfield. Gets in United midfield. God, Tom Davies gets in United midfield. But not after many. That, maybe. But then in all the other teams, who gets in the top four? Harry Kane, yeah. So
Rice, that's it.
Rice maybe, yeah. So, Stuart says, Sunday showed me that the players want to keep Rafa. Yeah. James says, love Anthony Gordon, great player. He's going to mature as well as a footballer and a blue. Jason says, you look at what Moyes is doing at West Ham and think, how can Everton not get any better from when he was our manager? Because we've made the wrong decisions in bringing the wrong managers in. Shrikar says, would you guys want an all or nothing documentary about Everton? Maybe one season at Bramley-Moore. Yeah. Season at Bramley-Moore.
Even the season before would be good to go.
Yeah, the last Goodison season would be good.
Yeah. And then you could do another one on top of the Bramley-Moore. Like do the end of Goodison and then do another one to start Bramley-Moore.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? Because that's a big story about leaving Goodison Park. It's a big thing, and the stadium getting built and moving over into the stadium and all that.
You would be worried though, wouldn't you, at the same time?
Might mean people get exposed to not doing the job. Might mean people have to step up to do the job. Dean says, I'd like to see more changes within the club management. We should be seeing more players coming from the youth and a system exactly like the first team. Keith says, Rafa lives locally, his family, etc. for 17 years. He works his arse off. We should look in the mirror and realise who we are. We will be fine. Give him our support, not criticism every day. He will get the best out of what we have, and that's all you can ask. We need to get real and lower expectations through a more realistic level. Thanks for the crack, lads. All the best, Keith. Fair play, Keith. Yeah. I think sometimes it is about just letting the noise die down and letting people get on with the job.
Yeah.
Personally. Samuel Thorndle says, best team we had under Moyes, and what season should we have won something? I think between 07 to 09,
Yeah.
we were really good and we should have won something.
The FA Cup season was
The
a good team.
09, we should have got
Yeah.
something. We had a good... But then again, we got the spine of the club injured.
Yeah.
Jagielka,
Jags,
knee
Arteta.
injury. Arteta, knee injury.
Yeah.
Yakubu, Achilles injury. Victor Anachebi, ankle injury. He was a squad player, but it was a decent sub.
Yeah.
Those three right out. Those three in the side. That's at Wembley against Chelsea. Who knows?
Yeah. Good deal, yeah.
Dan says get rid of zonal marking and this theory of bringing them on the counter-attacking. Wolves love that. Well, we've played with the counter-attack. You can't... I just don't think you can really, like, criticise the team at the moment. They haven't got the best players available. We've got... Everyone lauds Carlo... Well, not everyone, but people laud Carlo Ancelotti. This time last year, after 11 games, we had 17 points. This year, we've got 15. And we haven't had our best players.
No.
Last year, we had our best players. So Rafa Benitez, who people say isn't doing a good job, or Everton aren't doing this, is 2 points worse off than Carlo Ancelotti, who had all our best players after 11 games.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can... Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, definitely, mate.
I'm not saying he's amazing, doing an amazing job, but he's doing a decent job, and that's it. And we've had no... If we'd have had our full team all season, and we were here and there and having results like Watford, then you could pick holes in him and go, what's he doing there, or what's that? But, man, if Spurs didn't have Son and Kane all season,
you'd be a bottom half team.
Bottom 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You know, and all of that.
Well, look at Villa. They lost the best player. Look where they are.
Yeah. And people on this channel, on the chat, were telling us Villa were Champions League now. They were worlds apart from Everton. The 2 points off the relegation places.
They actually, with Villa, they didn't fix where their problems are.
No.
Defensively.
So I just think we all have to just go. No, the zonal marking has been rubbish, Dan. I agree. It seemed
a bit
better
of a mix
at the
and
weekend
match.
because there was...
I think they've done a bit of a mix.
He'd done the mix, didn't he? Part zonal, part man-to-man at the weekend,
which
and
is
it
good.
worked a bit better. I agree with you there, that's been rubbish. But our players have to take responsibility for that as well.
Yeah.
Some fans allow our players to get off the hook. These same players that hung Marco Silva out to dry, Ronald Koeman out to dry, Carlo Ancelotti out to dry in some respects, are doing the same at times to Rafa Benitez. Toff says the problem isn't Rafa, it's the squad. Won't be fixed till we have a window that brings 5+ players in. It's a culture thing. We have good players, but we need a revamp.
Yeah. Agree.
Eugene says, I think Everton will sell John Joe Kenny and Mason Holgate in the January transfer window.
They won't get much for Kenny.
No,
He's
but...
out of contract, isn't he?
Yeah. Dan says, pick a man and stop him. Exactly. Will Lewis says, it's not about having our best players, it's about when the best players aren't available, who do we replace them with? We spent 500 million on the worst Everton squad I've ever seen. You must only be about 15 then, Will, if this is the worst Everton squad you've seen.
Yeah, it's definitely
Jesus Christ.
Bloody hell.
I've seen some horrific Everton
Try
squads.
97. Bloody hell.
That's, mate, even 2011, under Moyes,
Yeah.
we had Velios,
Yeah.
my guy Gay. People like
yeah,
that.
we did, yeah.
We had no squad. We had like 13, 14 players maximum. So it isn't... I agree, it's who's coming in underneath, but you can't say it isn't about the players who aren't available, because there are best players who aren't available.
Yeah.
So that makes a huge difference. When your 2 goal scorers have been out for a chunk of games, that makes a huge impact
Massive,
on
mate.
your team. But you're right, with the money we've spent, we should have players like... We should have another player like Abdoulaye Doucouré who can come in and do what he does. Not someone coming in who can't do the same job. That to me is mad. It's negligent. And again, that comes down to the recruitment team.
Okay, definitely.
No 500 million on this squad. Who said it was acceptable? You said it was the worst squad you've ever seen. And I said you must only be young then. Because I've seen awful Everton squads, and in the last 10 years, worse Everton squads than this. But we've had money on this squad, and that's why it's poor.
Yeah, by the way, I'm sure Baz will say, the 500 million, you're right, the majority of it has been spent poorly. Yeah. You can't disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
But now we are seeing that we've spent 1.7 million in the summer. It's now time to start, I suppose, being negligent with the money. We've got to be, we've just got to be. It just, I agree. It has been spent terribly, a lot of it, but what can we do now? It's all about changing that, I suppose, and getting players in who want to play for the club. And like Baz said there with Decore, it is frustrating. We all know it's frustrating as fans that we can't bring another player in like Decore. We can't bring another player in like Dom. We can't bring another goalkeeper in like Pickford. But unfortunately, you're not going to see hopefully in the next couple of years, we might start seeing that change. Yeah. In the next year or two, hopefully.
Adam Brooks says, will Ben Johnson, the West Ham right back, be a decent signing, or would you prefer Tarek Lamptey or Max Aarons? Ben Johnson looks really good for West Ham. He's not leaving West Ham to come here, is he? But no. He looks really good. Tarek Lamptey's looked exciting, yeah, but the money they want, it's a waste. Max Aarons, another one who's a good right back, but I think I'd try and get Brandon Williams and play him right back in United.
I haven't really been impressed with Aarons, I have to say.
He's good on the ball. I think he stood still. He looked like he was going to be really excellent a couple of years ago, and he's not really done more. But Jason Taylor says, bet West Ham haven't spent 500 million on their squad, so what does that say? No, but someone put something up the other day, and it was 398 million or something on the West Ham squad in the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, he's just spent like 170, I think, since he's been there.
So it's still a decent amount of money, isn't it? But you're right, they have got a better squad than us, so yeah, they've spent the money better. Where are we? Steve P says, Baz, when we talk about underrated strikers last week, I just remembered one, Alberto Gilardino. Remember him, Gilardino? We were talking about loads of boss strikers last week. Ones like from the 90s, and like all like with your Batistutas and all them. Oh my God, Becky Signori and all of those. Alvaro Recoba, Zamorano, you know, all them ones. Like there was millions of them.
Mate, it was incredible.
Now there's like not so many of them around. I know the game's changed and it's more skillful players, but
that era.
But Gilardino, he was another one.
That era was footy, was just mad, wasn't it?
Oh, amazing.
Just like
amazing. Dan's gone. Pickford, Dumfries, Mina, Koulibaly, Dean, James, Duke, Alan, Gray, Dom, Ritchie. Imagine that. Yeah. Dave says elbow. So talking to someone, you were too young to remember Per Krolstrup, Alcaraz, Van der Meijden, Alex Niago, and the rest. Yeah, definitely. Basic Trig says, when we've wasted such a massive amount of money, people need to look at the people signing checks. Yeah. Not the managers. And Liveovic says, frustratingly, we may have to accept the top 10 place at best. The Barkley debate has reared his head. Would you have him back? Would you have him back, Steve?
I don't know if it's because I don't know, I looked at him at the weekend and thought, he looked brilliant. But then, I don't know, if he got his head together.
He walks into this
He does. Team. I was saying to Baz before, I think he looks a lot fitter, actually, when I watched him at the weekend. He looks like maybe Tuchel's having a good effect on him, so you never know.
I'd have him back.
I would.
I'd have him back because I think if you put him in the midfield with Decore and Allen, and he was the next one up, and then you had the Richarlison, Dom, Damari, Gray. Because he travels with the ball. Yeah. You know, and then your subs are Townsend, Gordon. All of a sudden you go, no, they're not bad subs. Yeah. And the team looks a lot better. We can get up the pitch quickly. It gives you options. Listen, there'll be players who are younger, cheaper, without the baggage of Ross Barkley as well. But if you offered me him loan from January till May to have a look at him, see what he was like within this team, then I'd take it because he does travel up the pitch with the ball.
I think Benitez would be good for him as well.
It's the same with Lingard, I guess. I'm not a Jesse Lingard lover by any stretch, but if you got him on loan, look what he did for West Ham last January. Because he travels with the ball.
Yeah, he does, And he gets a goal, doesn't he, as well?
Everton battle to sign Ross Barkley. Eugene says that's a story today, isn't it? Jem says Max Aarons in a swap deal for Mason Holgate and John Joe Kenny. Yeah, maybe. Jason says I don't even think Norwich would want Holgate and Kenny. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Dan says forward-thinking player Ross Barkley. Andrew says great, having a good midfield, but no one to put the ball in the net. Oh, but that's where Richarlison, that's where getting Don back's important as well, isn't it? Will says Barkley in this midfield would be class with Allen sitting and Ducory, the Barkley going box to box, definitely.
Yeah.
Short-term one on Ross, says Crinson. And Adam says, how many players can our youth academy under 18s, 23 be sent on loan? Is there a limit? No, but there'll be a limit because you'd have no players here as well. And it's who you want going out, isn't it? I suppose, like Ellis Sims.
There's been talk of Sims and Branthwaite today going on loan in January.
That wouldn't surprise me. Branthwaite needs another
as well,
loan.
Actually,
Harry Tyler.
Be going on loan as well.
So, Crinson says, didn't Ross start for Chelsea in the Champions League the other night? I don't know whether he started in Champions League. He started on Saturday against Burnley, didn't he?
As well.
Oh, did he against Mold?
Yeah.
But they'll use him, won't they? Because they've got injuries as well themselves. They're missing 4 players. When they had the full squad the other week, he couldn't even get on the bench. They didn't even have a number, but they've had about 4 or 5 injuries, Chelsea. Kanté and people like that haven't been available. Kovacic is injured. Werner, Lukaku are injured. Christensen's injured. This is just off the top of my head. So Emerson is injured, the left back. So there's 4 or 5, 6 who were in the squad. There's Thiago Silva, isn't he injured as well?
I think he's back now.
He's back now, but he was injured. So they've had 5 or 6 who were injured. That's why Loftus-Cheek and Barkley have got back into the frame. But once everyone's fit, I imagine Ross will be on the sideline again. So maybe you'd get him that way. So there you go, Dan says, great chat, lads. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Cheers, mates. We're going to go now because Steve's got to get home and we've got to do the news daily. But listen, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the comments. We do this daily on Patreon if you want to be a patron. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching. Check out Ultimate Fan as well. It's free. Link is in the description. We'll see you later. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Goodbye.